Hey everybody, I've got a great quote to start today's show, and it goes as follows. The man who doesn't read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read them. And that's a quote by Mark Twain, who lived from 1835 to 1910. I read that the other day, I believe in mud flap again, in Rudder of the Day, Stories and Inspiration to Start Your Day by Dan Miller, which I've referenced quite frequently lately. Anyways, this is episode 129 of the All Around Growth podcast. My name is Rob Kaiser and I am your host. Bear with me as I am having some technical difficulties this morning. This is a show that, outside of said technical difficulties, helps provide some insight and some tools to build the life and homestead of your dreams. My name is Rob Kaiser and I am your host. Today's show title is Good Books. And like Mark Twain wrote, if we don't take the time to read good books, we have no advantage over someone who can't read at all. So what books are you reading? In the Telegram chat earlier this week, I shared a new book, one of which is on the list that I'm going to share with you. There's a list of 4 books, and basically what I'm going to do is give you the title, the author, and read a little bit about them. And before I hit the road, the first introduction is quite long, so I'm going to get into that immediately. And that's a book called Render Unto Caesar, Prophecy and Proof of Work in the Dim Age by Vin Armani. And there was no synopsis that came up on an internet search for Vin and his book. So I went to his website and pulled it from there. And this is what we've got. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they all have one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Genesis chapter 11, verse 6. For hundreds of thousands of years since the first human family split into separate bands on the African savannah, we have had a collective dream of a time when all mankind would again be able to speak face to face as close companions. As we dreamed, we built. We built civilizations, mythologies, and marvelous technology. Now the dream is fulfilled, and any two humans anywhere on our planet can speak to each other as though they were in the same room. Our world is now this dream. Our global culture is undergoing a massive shift. We can all feel the change taking place, but we are unable to grasp the nature or the significance of the change. In Render Unto Caesar, Vin Armani takes you into the very essence of the journey that humanity as a whole is taking out of a material worldview and into a mystical worldview, a journey into the dim age. The story begins with prophecy, an examination of the eternal cycle, providing the momentum for our species' evolution. Next is prophet, an exploration of the very roots of our economic impulse. Proof of work is a vision of Bitcoin, a phenomenon that bridges the space between the end of the past materialist paradigm and the beginning of the mystic dream time to come. This book is a unique and remarkable work, equal parts philosophical treatise, parable, and prediction of the future. You can find that online at vinarmani.com/renderuntocaesar. And also, you will see everything that I am speaking about today in the show notes. The next book I'm reading is Simple Wealth, Inevitable Wealth by Nick Murray. And that is the perfect book for the investor who knows they should invest for their future, but doesn't know how. The book details the average gains of bonds and stocks over the years and states that stocks are the way to true wealth. The next book on the list that I am reading is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, Think and Grow Rich was written by Napoleon Hill in 1937 and promoted as a personal development and self-improvement book. He claimed to be inspired by a suggestion from business magnate and later philanthropist Andrew Carnegie. Now, first published during the Great Depression, the book has sold more than 15 million copies, and it remains the biggest seller of Napoleon Hill's books. And last on the list of good books, these are books that I'm currently reading, is a book called Soundtracks: The Surprising Solution to Overthinking by Jon Acuff. In Soundtracks, New York Times best-selling author Jon Acuff offers a proven plan to change overthinking from a super problem into a superpower. If you want to tap into the surprising power of overthinking and give your dreams more time and creativity, learn how to DJ the soundtracks that define you. You can learn more at soundtracksbook.com. Now, why am I reading these 4 books? Okay, that's a good question. I'm actually reading several other books, and I've got books spread out everywhere. My coffee table, my nightstand, dresser. But these are the 4 books I am reading most frequently, and I guess I will share with you why I am reading them. Now, Render Unto Caesar, Prophet, Prophecy, and Proof of Work in the Dim Age by Vin Armani is a book that I asked Vin to read prior to publishing, with the understanding that I would read it and then interview him to move the book forward after its publication date. And I still plan on doing that, but I'm only about halfway through. And seeing as I don't do interviews on this show, or haven't done any yet, he will be one of the first, if not the first interview that I do, and I want to make sure that I give Vin the respect that he deserves, and the book the respect it deserves. And it is awesome, it's deep, and I am taking notes and trying to prepare some excellent questions for what I presume will be an excellent conversation as time goes on, or when the time comes for that interview. But like I said, I'm only halfway there, and because I read books kind of like an idiot, I have not made the progress that I was hoping to make, and also throw a seizure in there last month that threw me off for a bit of time as well. So anyways, if you're into cryptocurrency and concerned about the state of affairs, I would definitely suggest you check out this book, and you can find links to everything in the show notes. The next book that I referenced was called Simple Wealth, Inevitable Wealth by Nick Murray. And that is also a good book. I have not finished it completely, but the reason I'm reading that is it was suggested to me by my financial coach, who I've been working with for quite some time. And in all honesty, I'm actually entertaining the idea of terminating the relationship with this particular coach once I reach, well, no, I take that back. I have thought about it, but I want to stick with the coach for at least 6 months after I meet my savings goals before I determine what and how investing means to, like, what investing means to me and how I'm going to go about doing that, because I feel like the way in which I'm going to approach my investments and what I consider or deem to be an investment may change from how typical financial coaches see them. We'll find out, though. More on that in the future. Stay tuned to All Around Growth down the road as we talk about financial health and wellness, specifically with regard to investing, in a future episode. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is a book that came to the forefront in the 48 Days community, which I have spoken about at great length in the past. Now, I am currently involved in a book study with the 48 Days community. In January, we watched a movie together. The movie was Think and Grow Rich, and it's a great movie. I thought it would be kind of corny based on the trailers that I saw, but I loved it. It actually made me emotional, and I teared up a few times during the movie. During the month of February, we collectively read the preface in Chapter 2, The Power of Thought, and then had a Zoom call at the end of the month. In March, we read Chapter 3, titled Desire. And in April, we are now reading Faith. And what we are doing is, it's basically like a book club with Dan Miller. And he's read the book a number of times. We're reading a specific publication, what am I trying to say? An anniversary edition that's been updated, so to speak. And it's just a great time. And I really love participating in this book study. I'm getting far more out of it than I would if I would just read it alone. And participating in the community that is some of whom are also participating in the book study is a fantastic thing. If you want to learn more about this book study and you want to learn more about the 48 Days community, go to the show notes, check out the write-up on Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, and you'll find all the links there. Last but not least, Soundtracks, The Surprising Solution to Overthinking by John Acuff is his most recent book. It was released just a couple days ago, and it is a good book so far. I have read it the past couple of mornings, and it seems appropriate based on where I am am at this current point in my life. And what I mean by that is, like I said, the write-up suggested that Jon Acuff offers a proven plan to change overthinking from a super problem into a superpower. So, thinking about the surprising power of overthinking and giving your dreams more time and creativity. Now, this isn't a concept that's new to me. I've been of the mindset that you can impact and change the way that you think, the way that you are. You can effectively reprogram your mind by doing and thinking things consistently. And I've been trying to do this for years. And this podcast is one of the ways in which the work that I've done has been manifesting itself in my life. And this is one of the ways in which I am able to deal with not getting all of the results that I want in life when I want them. This podcast is a bit of a coping mechanism, and also a way to share everything that or some of the things that I'm doing with you and connect with people who are trying to do the same. And so far, it's working out in that way. And I've met many other people in communities that have formed around Jon Acuff's work in the past. So that is what I have to say about Jon Acuff's book. It's great. If overthinking is something that you do, and you do it in a negative way, then this book might be right up your alley. So that's about it for today. I am pulling in here to the day job. I got an early start this morning. I am feeling excited about today. I got a great start to the day. I hope that this podcast finds you having a great start to your day as well. If you're listening to this in the morning, I hope you have a great day. If you're listening to this at some point throughout your day, maybe your day hasn't been so great, but I hope the rest of your afternoon or evening is, the rest of your shift is. And as always, I appreciate you tuning in to the show. I hope that this show on good books was of value to you. And if so, and you want to support the show somehow, like I said, go to the show notes. There's a bunch of links in there. And down at the bottom of the show notes, there's a link that you can rate and review the podcast. If you're listening through iTunes or on an iPhone at some, like most people appear to be, that link will allow you to rate the podcast on Apple iTunes, maybe even give it a written review if you so desire. But if you're not an iTunes user, please simply give it a rating on your podcast player of choice, or if you want to go so far as to share it with friends, family, or even on social media, you are welcome to do that as well. It is definitely appreciated, and it is an organic way of it's an organic way of growing the audience. I am trying to decrease my social media use and focus on things that matter, like people, actual relationships in life, involvement in my community, interaction with the people closest to me, building and strengthening those relationships. That I'm learning that social media is not the place for me to do that. Some people can do that effectively, and I've done it in the past. But in this current climate, that is not the place where I am looking to do that. So a great place where we can do it, though, is through the Telegram Messenger app. If you're on your internet browser, on your computer, t.me/allaroundgrowth, or if you've already got the Telegram Messenger app on your phone, just search for All Around Growth in the groups. You won't find us on, or me at least, on social media as frequently as I used to be, but I'm still active in the Telegram Messenger app along with the hardcore and dedicated listeners of the show. We are all there talking about any number of things, including but not limited to good books. So check it out. Look forward to seeing you there. And if not there, I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. Thanks again for tuning in. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.